Okay, committee members and participants, we are now live.
Good morning, everyone. Before we begin this hearing, I'd like to recognize Mr. McDermott to read an important announcement.
Due to the continuing threats of public health from COVID-19, City Council committees are currently meeting remotely. We are using Microsoft Teams to make these remote hearings possible. Instructions for how the public may view and offer public testimony at public hearings of council committees are currently included in the public hearing notices that are published in the Daily News, Inquirer, Legal Intelligencer prior to the hearings, and can also be found on phlcouncil.com.
Thank you, Mr. McDermott. The hour has come. Will you please call the roll? And will members of City Council say a few words so that your image appears on the screen?
Councilmember Bass. Councilmember Brooks.
Good morning, I'm present.
Good morning.
Councilmember Driscoll.
Good morning, I'm present.
Good morning, member.
Councilmember Gautier.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and colleagues present.
Good morning.
Councilmember Gilmore Richardson.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, colleagues. I am present.
Good morning.
Councilmember Harity.
Good morning, everyone. I am present.
Good morning.
Councilmember Johnson.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. I'm present.
Good morning.
Councilmember Jones.
Present.
Councilmember Lozada.
Good morning, everyone. I'm present.
Good morning.
Councilmember O'Neill. Councilmember Phillips.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, viewing public. Good morning, Mr. Chair. I am present.
Good morning, member.
Councilmember Phillips. I'm sorry, Councilmember Squilla.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and colleagues present.
Good morning.
Councilmember Thomas.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning to the city of Philadelphia. And congratulations to our MVP. I'm present.
Yes, finally. Good morning.
And Councilmember Vaughn.
Hey, everybody, I'm on.
Good morning, member. The committee quorum has been established for the committee of the whole to review the following bills, and they are numbers 230, 144, 230, 145, 230, 146, 230, 147, 230, 148, 230, 149, and resolution number 230, 162. Mr. McDermott, will you please read the titles of the bills and resolutions?
Bill number 230144, an ordinance to adopt a capital program for the 6 fiscal years 2024 to 2029 inclusive. Bill number 230145, an ordinance to adopt a fiscal 2024 capital budget. Bill number 230146, an ordinance adopting the operating budget for fiscal year 2024. Bill number 230147, an ordinance amending chapter 19-1500 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Wage and Net Profits Tax by revising certain tax rates under certain terms and conditions. Bill number 230148, an ordinance amending chapter 19-2800 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Pennsylvania Intergovernmental Cooperation Authority Tax on Wages and Net Profits to provide for the continuation of the tax and making other conforming changes, all under certain terms and conditions. Bill number 230149, an ordinance amending chapter 19-2600 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Business Income and Receipts Taxes by revising certain tax rates under certain terms and conditions. Resolution number 230162, providing for the approval by the Council of the City of Philadelphia a revised 5-year financial plan for the City of Philadelphia covering fiscal years 2024 through 2028 and incorporating revised changes with respects to fiscal year 2023, which is to be submitted by the mayor to the Pennsylvania Intergovernmental Cooperation Authority pursuant to the Intergovernmental Cooperation Agreement authorized by an ordinance of this council, approved by the mayor on January 3rd, 1992, by and between the city and the authority.
Thank you, Mr. McDermott. We will now establish the rules for the hearing. This is the committee of the whole, and public testimony will be considered this year for fiscal years 2024 and a capital program as well. And we will now hear from Mr. McDermott to establish the rules for the public testimony.
We are here today to hear from you about the proposed budget for the city and school district. Due to the COVID-19 emergency, we have implemented special procedures with respect to public comment, which were advertised, posted on council's website, and sent out in a press release. Speakers interested in giving testimony were asked to call or email by 3 p.m. yesterday so that we could take the technical steps necessary to provide an opportunity for you to comment in a virtual environment. We also encourage everyone who has to testify to submit written testimony to budget.hearings@phila.gov to ensure that their voice is part of the public permanent record. Any testimony submitted that way will be added to the public record of this meeting. To ensure that there is an opportunity for all of you to be heard, certain ground rules have been established. First, your testimony should be related to the bills listed on the calendar. Second, once your name is called, you will have 3 minutes, up to 3 minutes to speak. In order to be fair to all those wishing to speak, we intend to hold faithfully to the 3-minute limit. Once you are asked to begin your testimony, a timer will be started. When there are 30 seconds remaining in your time, you will be reminded of this. Once your allotted time has passed, you will be asked to conclude your remarks.
Thank you so much for that. And with that, we will begin the hearings. Do any of the members have anything to say before we start? Seeing none, can you please read the first panel to testify?
Our first witness this morning is Elizabeth Gardner.
Ms. Gardner, welcome. Can
Pardon me,
state your
council
name?
member. Pardon me,
Can you
council member.
state-
This is Lonnie from Tech.
Yes.
I just wanted to let the people on hold know to turn down their live stream or the TV if they're watching it so we don't have feedback, and that once their name is called, we'll unmute them. They'll hear a loud beep, and then they'll be able to provide their testimony. Sorry for the interruption.
No, that was a welcome addition. Thank you for that, Lonnie. Will the first witness state your name for the record and please begin your testimony? Are you connected?
And again, that name was
Gardner.
Elizabeth. Yep.
Yes,
Ms.
can you hear
Gardner?
me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, my name is Elizabeth Gardner. Last name spelled Gardiner.
Thank you.
And great. Can I begin my testimony?
Yes, you can.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. I'm so grateful to be here today and be able to speak regarding the fiscal year 2024 budget for the city of Philadelphia. Again, my name is Liz Gardner. I've been working for the city of Philadelphia as a children's librarian for 8 years. So I'm here today to talk a bit about my feelings about the upcoming budget and the priorities as I see them as a longtime city worker serving children and families and others across the city. So I want to talk about 3 things today, and I'll keep it brief. I want to talk about our libraries. I want to talk about our parks and recreation facilities, and I want to talk about the Office of Worker Protections. All 3 departments, I have colleagues and people I'm glad to call friends that all feel very strongly and passionately about the work that we do serving the city. So I want to list up the work that we do and talk about why it's important to keep that work as a priority in this upcoming budget. So first and foremost, our libraries. We have 54 facilities throughout the city. No matter where you are in Philly, you are about 2 miles or less from a library. We provide critical services, access to information, to social connection, provision of story times, after school help for homework, and other activities. We serve babies, toddlers, kids, teenagers, adults, and the elderly. Wherever you are in Philly, whatever your interests are, whatever your needs are, a library is able to support you in getting your needs met. And if we can't help you meet those needs ourselves, we are information centers. We'll provide you with the referral to the services. And we get people access to materials to take home, of course, and access to the internet for folks who need it through Wi-Fi or through our hardwired public computers. So as many of you here know, the library service has been very, very rough since the pandemic. We lost a lot of staff. Our budget was cut. We are seeing a huge resurgence in money that has seen more staff come into our libraries. And I just want to lift up the priority that we all need to share at keeping that library budget stable and increasing over time so we can increase our service to pre-pandemic levels. I want to see all of our libraries open 7 days a week for the folks who need them. And that's a reach goal right now, but you can help us get there through your investment in our libraries. We also want to support the hundreds of new staff we're onboarding. Moving on to our rec centers, we have over 10,000 acres of public land that Parks and Rec is caretaking. We have hundreds of facilities welcoming millions of visitors a year. Rec facilities all over our communities are in our lives, helping us be able to enrich ourselves, to make connections, and to serve as a stopgap when people need entertainment, when they need something to do. Our rec centers need to be prioritized, especially knowing that there have been devastating acts of violence that have plagued our centers and around our centers. We need to keep our workers and our communities safe. So we need more money in the Parks and Rec budget so we can do that important work. And finally, I'll finish up. Our Office of Worker Protections is staffed by a whopping 7 people. It's much smaller than in our peer cities. We have 5 compliance investigators. We have 2 outreach specialists, and those 7 people oversee the protection and safety of 740,000 workers in the city. The current budget is inadequate. We need more money in that budget so that we can get more staff. They can keep our workers and our communities safer, and they need to enforce wage theft laws, paid sick leave, fair work week, and more in an appropriate manner. So again, thank you so much. Library, Parks and Rec, and the Office of Worker Protections are 3 big priorities that I and my coworkers and our communities need to see prioritized to keep Philadelphia safer and to improve our working conditions and the conditions of everyone in our city. Thank you so much for hearing me today. Again, I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony and getting all of that on the record. Thank you so much. Mr. McDermott, who's next?
Before I call the next name, I wanted to acknowledge for the record that Councilwoman Bass is present.
Welcome, Member Bass.
Good morning, all. I am present. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
And our next person to testify is Erin Hoops.
Ms. Hoops, are you there? Are you connected?
Yes, hello,
Tell me
I'm
when you
here.
want. Ah, there you go. How are you? Good morning. Please state your name
Good
for the record.
morning. Good morning, City Council representatives. My name is Erin Hoops, ERINHOOPES.
Thank you. Begin your testimony.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to testify about Bill number 230146 today. I'm speaking in my capacity as a proud member of AFSCME DC 47, Local 2186, and I'm asking you to fully fund the public service departments that uplift my fellow Philadelphians. I've been a free library worker for almost 16 years, and I've seen firsthand the devastating effects of years of disinvestment in our public spaces. Safety is forefront in our minds right now, so I specifically want to speak today about gun violence. In times like this, it's crucial that we ask how we got where we are today. I believe there is a direct link between the years of intentional scarcity, cutting departments that feed people's minds, bodies, and souls, like libraries and recreation centers, and workers that provide care and opportunities, like social workers, teachers, and counselors, and the gun violence that now plagues us. Just in the past few months, we've seen the incredible opportunities that, for the first time ever in my years in the library, city funding for library programs offers young people and adults. What if we had been able to offer such robust programming consistently over the last 2 decades? Where might we be? I think we would be in a safer city with more young people thriving in school, going on to good jobs and colleges, starting businesses, and giving back to their communities. We would have more families in safe, stable, and affordable housing, more adults participating in job training and protected in their jobs, and more seniors connected to their neighbors. We can start making that dream a reality now by fully funding public services in Philadelphia. We have to invest in the city employees who do the important work of building relationships, hopes, and dreams in the lives of all our residents. This means well-staffed libraries, recreation centers, schools, health clinics, care facilities, social service agencies, and the Office of Worker Protections. We can't punish our way out of this crisis. but we can lift each other out, one helping hand, one stable relationship at a time. But that takes your investment and your commitment to direct city funding to departments that help Philadelphians thrive. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that testimony. And we are paying attention and listening. Thank you so much. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Drew Miller.
Mr. Miller, are you connected?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, Mr.
Good
Miller.
morning.
Please state your name for the record
Yeah,
and
my name
begin
is-
your testimony.
Thank you. My name is Drew Miller, Miller. So good morning, council members. My name is Drew Miller. I am a paralegal at Community Legal Services in the Homeownership and Consumer Rights Unit. I'm pleased to testify today to encourage city investment for funding engineer services, architect services, and legal services for low-income Philadelphia homeowners impacted by adjacent construction. As council knows, Community Legal Services is a nonprofit legal aid office that provides free legal representation to low-income Philadelphians. We represent clients with a variety of civil legal matters, including homeownership issues. Philadelphia prides itself on being a city of homeowners, with 52% of Philadelphia households owning their homes. A significant portion of these households, including all of our clients, are low income. But the American dream of homeownership is under attack for many of our clients, with skyrocketing home values, competition from all-cash private investors, and equity-stripping schemers, such as predatory residential property wholesaling industry. That is why preserving intergenerational family homes for our clients is so important. Since the summer of 2019, CLS has experienced a significant increase in clients seeking assistance because construction in their tight neighborhoods was damaging their own homes. A few CLS clients will testify today to highlight their experiences with adjacent construction. Innocent longtime homeowners have experienced months of harassment and are too often being forced out of their homes. Last year, Councilmember Mark Squilla built a broad coalition, including support from the building industry and various community stakeholders, to pass Bill 220008, writing best-known practices into law. Since going into effect in January 2023, this bill requires builders to conduct a pre-construction survey of adjacent property that may be impacted by construction or demolition, and document the existing conditions of the adjacent properties. It also ensures the timely notification of adjacent neighbors, so they are given opportunity to know their rights before the construction project begins. This early communication will enable both builders and adjacent neighbors to plan appropriately before immediate needs arise. While this bill is an important first step, more is needed to support the low-income Philadelphia homeowners being impacted. L&I Commissioner Ralph DiPietro highlighted this effectively in his testimony during the budget hearing on April 5th, 2023. The requirements of Bill 220008 provide impacted homeowners with information they need to navigate adjacent construction. This may be enough for homeowners who have the funds to hire needed experts such as architects, engineers, and lawyers. However, low-income Philadelphia homeowners do not have the needed funds, but still require access to the engineer and legal services that are necessary in many, if not most, cases. Engineer services ensure the safety of impacted homes. Lot surveys determine where property lines are. Legal services protect and preserve homeowners' rights. Drafting access agreements and engineer reports require access to expert skills. Low-income Philadelphia homeowners need your support to gain access to these services. On behalf of CLS, I ask that you support these homeowners to help protect Philadelphia's row home neighborhoods. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony, and thank you for what CLS does for the community. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Nancy Lewis.
Ms. Lewis, are you connected?
Yes, I am.
Thank you
Good
so
morning,
much.
Council
State your name.
My name is Nancy Lewis. I am 74 years old, and I live in the 31st Ward and in the 1st City Council District. I am a widow that has owned my home for more than 50 years. My home is a twin that was built together with one other twin home. Unfortunately, I did not know the twin attached to my home was being demolished until the day demolition began in 2020. No one told me about this, so I had no time to prepare. The demolition caused significant damage to my home. My home was open to the elements. The contractor came through the bathroom wall and kitchen wall during demolition. I could see daylight in my basement. I had problems with roof leakage and other water damage into my home. Squirrels were able to enter my home. When the contractor used the gas-powered generator, the fumes filled my home. Since the demolition, I have had a hard time keeping my home warm. After the demolition, the party wall was not properly sealed. This caused a chemical smell whenever I used my oven. Additionally, the contractors responded on my trespassed on my property and on my roof. With the help of friends and neighbors, I was able to communicate with the contractors and L&I. L&I required the wall to be better sealed, and my oven no longer causes a chemical smell. However, I still need more help. I was connected to CLS when there was a press conference in front of my home. They helped me navigate an access agreement. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
That included engineer
Please take
services.
your time.
Okay, thank you. That included engineer services to evaluate my home and the air cleaner. And an air home and get the repairs to my homes needed. I now have the dehumidifier in the basement and two air cleaners on my first floor and in my bedroom. L&I suspended the contractor and repairs were still happening, but I hope they will be done soon. This has been a horrible experience for me, but I am thankful. My friend went through something similar before this happened to me, and her wall was actually knocked down. Like me, she is retired. People like us can't handle this on our own. I'm humbled by the people who helped me, volunteering their time so I could get help that I needed. Thank you to Debbie, Bob, Venice, Michelle, Michael, and Eric. But the city shouldn't wait for volunteers to help. Please fund engineering services and legal services so more people living next to construction can get the help they need. Thank you so much.
Now, thank you for sharing your experience, and we are listening and we understand how traumatic that could be. So, and thank you and thank CLS for intervening. We have to do better. Mr. McDermott, who is next to testify.
Our next witness is Latricia King.
Ms. King, are you connected? Are you there, Ms. King?
Yes, I am. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. How is everyone?
We are all well. Can you state your name and begin your testimony?
My name is Latricia King. I live in the 37th Ward in the 5th City Council District. I am 36 years old. I'm a single mother with 2 children who live in a home I inherited from my father. Where does a regular residential person begin? There are no words to express the pain and uncertainty of having your life threatened with financial worries and feeling unsafe in your home. When construction started next door to my home, I didn't know who to turn to for help. Underpinning was being done on my home, so they were digging deeper than my home's foundation. I was afraid my home would collapse. I tried to learn everything I could at the law library to fight for the safety of my home. I researched engineering procedures for underpinning so I could monitor and evaluate the safety of my home. This is not my background, and I am not trained for this work. I had to take time off from work, and this put a financial burden on me and my family. But there is no price on the life and safety of my children. I did everything I could, but my home was still damaged. When the sidewalk next to my home was collapsed and underground utility lines were exposed, my home was also affected. I received an L&I violation on my home that said that the construction next door had failed to properly protect my home and caused my home to be unsafe. My kids were not even safe in the backyard because the temporary fence would not prevent them from falling into the deep hole of their construction site. Most civilians don't have access to a lawyer. If you don't have $15,000 for a lawyer, people with more power and money will just roll right over you. I was lucky to get help. From CLS. They helped me negotiate the access agreement needed to repair my home, protect my rights moving forward, and above all, protect my family. It is not fair for someone to go through all this. It is not realistic for an average citizen to deal with this. You fight so hard for your home. I work, pay taxes. Maybe if preventative measures were properly taken, maybe if I had access to engineer services and legal services sooner, maybe the damage to my home could have been avoided. I hope the city can make changes so others don't have to go through what I went through. I appreciate this opportunity to tell my story. I hope this helps the city protect others' families and their homes and their lives moving forward. Thank you for your ear.
Thank you for sharing your experience, and we appreciate what you've said to us today. Thank you. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Allison Cooper.
Mr. Cooper, are you connected?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Good morning.
State your name for the record, and please begin your testimony.
My name is Allison Cooper. My first name is spelled Alton. My last name is Cooper. In 2020, I live in the 51st Ward, 5134 Chester Avenue in the Southwest Philadelphia. In 2020, prep work was begun on property in the rear of my home to construct a 4-story multi-unit apartment building. As the prep work began, the contractors began damaging our property. And I inquired to them, would they repair it, which they assured me that they would. After the building was erected, they also had removed the alleyway in order to build the apartment building. They removed about nearly a foot of walkway and did not replace it. They destroyed fences up and down our properties, which were 5 individual properties that were damaged. I contacted the contractor, who assured me that they would honor their agreement to repair our properties. 2 years passed, and we did not get any satisfaction from the contractors. So therefore, I was forced to contact CLS and get assistance from them. What they did was made it very unsafe for us to live in our properties, and they refused to do anything to mitigate the damages until intervention by CLS. It is imperative that CLS gets funding to help low homeowners manage their fight against unscrupulous contractors, because they do not honor their agreements to do work that they promised to do. And in the course of doing that, force us into financial hardship. It is very important for us low-income families and people to continue to be assisted by CLS. And I hope that you will take that into consideration during your budget hearings. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you for your testimony. Mr. McDermott.
Thank you.
Our next witness is Clarice Brooks.
Ma'am, are you connected?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning,
Hello,
Council
state your
President
name.
and Council members. Clarice Brooks.
Good morning.
Good morning. I live in the 20th Ward at the 5th City Council District. I lived here all my life with my family. I grew up in this house. My father bought this house on his GI Bill in 1955. And I love my community. I went to school here. I worked in my community as a crossing guard. I know my neighbors, even if they've been here for a while, if they just moved in, we just friendly like that on 7th Street. And the developer who demolished the house next to mine was not a good developer or a good neighbor. Before they demolished the house next to mine, when they demolished the house next to mine, right before, like a year before that, they tore up my neighbor's house. Their building fell on their house and knocked their house completely down, and they had to get a new house rebuilt. So now we come over to him demolishing a home next to mine, which left my wall damaged for over a year. Water got in, and some of Philadelphia big rats came in. It was a mess. I didn't know the right people to call. I couldn't get help. After a while, they put a blue tarp up on the wall, and they used some old boards, and the boards would bang. And I have an autistic 8-year-old grandson. So at night, when the wind would blow, because it was in the winter, and it was very cold on that side of my house, the wood would bang, and it would scare my grandson out of his sleep, and we couldn't get any rest. So we tried to get them to fix the damage on the wall, but the developer was so rude and disrespectful, he didn't help me, and he kept telling me I wasn't never getting a wall. He wasn't never going to put a wall up because he was going to put a building there. So the city code said that the wall should have been covered with stucco within 90 days of the demolition. My wall didn't get fixed for over a year. Then I went to the news, and I had an article written about me and my situation. Finally, I got my wall fixed. It's just not right, because people are older. They had their houses for a long time, and they don't know who to talk to about these things. If I didn't have Drew and Michael, I don't know where I would be. They came to my aid. They helped me Right now, we're working on the access agreement because he insists on getting on my roof without an access agreement. But people who don't have Drew and Michael, they don't have anything, and they need lawyers, they need engineers, and regular people just don't have that help. And the city could just help out the people, the taxpayers. We the ones, we love Philadelphia. We're not going nowhere. We got people coming in. They stay for a year. They don't love our city. We love our city. We pay our taxes. And I just think the city should just be a little kinder to us.
I agree. And thank you so much. I'm sorry you and your grandson went through that, but I'm thankful to CLS for intervening, and we hear you, and thank you for your testimony. Mr.
Thank you
McDermott.
so much for hearing me. Everyone have a blessed and safe journey home.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Our next witness is Daryl Bundridge.
Mr. Bundridge, are you connected?
Yes, sir, I am connected.
State your name for the record. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Daryl Bundridge, Bundrige. Thank you, council members and council, for hearing my testimony and for your continued support of City Year. I'm the proud executive director of City Year Philadelphia, and we're celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. We're an education nonprofit committed to supporting students, families, and communities citywide. This year, our 70 AmeriCorps members served more than 8,000 students in 13 schools across Philly. We adapt to this post-pandemic world while our core members continue providing our students with consistency, safety, and connection in partnership with school staff. We are having an impact. 93% of our 7th graders who work on literacy with City Year maintain a grade of C or better. 80% of 10th graders who started with a D or F on math assessments actually ended with a C or better. 92% of principals believe that City Year's services align with their school goals. 85% agree that our core members positively impact students' social and emotional health. While our core members impact students, they also engage in their own professional development to prepare for our city's workforce. 75% of our core alumni are educators, healthcare staff, lawyers, social workers, and nonprofit professionals in Philly. 40% of our alumni who teach work in the very schools they served. But 70 core members is not enough. We need to attract more core members to serve more students who need and deserve our support. We have 20 schools on the waiting list for our services right now. More core members means we'll fill our city's talent pipeline with more City Year alumni as educators and other cross-sector professionals. We've already invested in efforts to support core member recruitment by increasing the core stipend, hiring a community partnerships manager, and media spending for brand awareness. We're partnering with the school district to develop 10th and 11th grade internships as pathways to graduation provider, and we're approved to fulfill high school graduation requirements through a year post-graduation of service with us. Please support our effort by increasing our FY24 allotment to $900,000, which would restore the funding we received pre-pandemic and expand our efforts to attract more young people who will serve in our schools and become the next civically engaged leaders in our city's workforce. Thank you.
And thank you for what City Year does. At my alma mater, Overbrook, they used to be a critical part of mentoring young people there. And I remember Member Johnson talking fondly about his experience with City Year.
We're serving at Cassidy and several other schools, so thank you.
Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Taryn Painter.
Ms. Painter, are you
Good morning,
connected?
City Council members. Yes, I am. Good morning. My name is Taryn Painter, last name spelled Painter, and I am a proud AmeriCorps member here at City Year Philadelphia. I'm appreciative to have the opportunity to speak on the important work of our diverse teams of Corps members serving 13 schools citywide. My team serves at Kensington High School, located in the city's 1st district, represented by Councilmember Mark Squilla. For the students we serve, school is not only a place where academic learning happens, but social, emotional mentoring too. After a year and a half in distance learning, many of our 9th and 10th graders have told me of their difficulties in navigating in-person relationships and expressing their emotions. As core members, we create conditions in the schoolhouse to help students overcome challenges first set into place by the pandemic. We're uniquely positioned in the classroom to build meaningful relationships with students so they feel comfortable expressing their true selves. With the approach we take, students trust us as people to come to for advice on school, relationships, and their futures. To reflect the impact of our work, I'll tell you about my student, Stephanie. One time after we finished our classwork, we began a conversation on how to navigate people who have differing values. In this conversation, she shared with me some of the challenges she'd been facing. Since the pandemic, she's been having difficulties expressing who she is to those closest to her because of their personal beliefs. I could tell this was something that had been weighing on her and that it took a lot of courage for her to broach the topic. But she felt comfortable asking me for help on how to productively address something upsetting her. There are more students like Stephanie throughout Philadelphia that core members support in their social emotional development. After 25 years of powerful service in the city, the incoming cohort of Red Jackets will continue to be the trusted mentors who can support our youth unconditionally. We're a resource for students to lean on in positive and challenging times. We are the near-peer role models that our youth looks up to as older siblings. Most importantly, we are the reminders of the endless possibilities that students can achieve when they reach their potential. These are but a few reasons why I chose to serve a second year with City Year and enroll in a social policy master's program at UPenn in 2024. Through our service, we create better opportunities for our city's youth and a greater future for all of us. We appreciate the opportunity to continue partnering with you to create conditions optimal for student success. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for those Red Jackets creating a beacon for our young people to follow. And it is, we always enjoy watching you in your morning exercises and getting it ready for your day. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Keith Arrington.
Mr. Arrington, are you connected?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you.
Good. State
Okay,
your name, please,
my name
and
is-
begin your testimony.
All right. My name is Keith Arrington. That's spelled Arrington. Good morning to the distinguished members of Philadelphia City Council and to all assembled. I am humbled to come before you today as the principal of John F. Hartranft Elementary School, located in District 5, represented by Council President, the Honorable Daryl L. Clark. I also come as a lifelong Philadelphia resident in the Overbrook section of District 4, represented by the Honorable Curtis Jones, Jr. My partnership with City Year began in 2010 with my appointment as principal of Thurgood Marshall School. I quickly determined that I never wanted to lead a school that did not have City Year as a partner. At Hartranft, City Year works directly with our 4th to 6th grade students, and that will continue into the next school year. City Year bridges the gap created by the school's limited capacity, providing in-class support and small group instruction as our students strive to achieve academic proficiency. Through mentorship and the establishment of relationships, City Year supports the school's mantra for all students to be safe, be respectful, and be responsible. City Year truly proved its worth during the 2021-2022 school year as we returned from the pandemic. With learning gaps to address and a needed focus on social emotional learning after months of virtual learning, the energy and enthusiasm of the core helped us to make it through. There's a well-known cliche that resonates in many circles. In God we trust, all others must bring data. City Year's impact is well substantiated by data, such as 4th grade focus list students have shown improvement of up to 10 points on the STAR benchmark assessment. Perhaps the biggest City Year endorsement I can give is that I encourage my own son, Keith Jr., to serve as a core member after graduating high school. I witnessed the impact City Year had on his development at the same time he was impacting the school community in which he served. Your investment in City Year will provide the resources to attract more young people like my son to serve as core members and be the champions for the many more at-risk students who are presently beyond City Year's capacity to reach. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for being in the 4th District. Appreciate your testimony. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Michael Roth.
Mr. Roth, are you connected?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Michael Roth, and I've had the honor of serving as the principal of Oni year in Oni Elementary School for the previous 8 years. I also live in Philadelphia in Cindy Bass's district. Early on in my career as an educator, I learned that one of the most important factors to support a student on the path to success is that they need to have at least one meaningful adult connection within the school community. What we educators know from anecdotal evidence and our own professional experience, brain researchers have recently backed up scientifically. A meaningful and caring adult connection shows positive and healing effects on a child's brain. These relationships have even been proven to bring great healing to the negative effects of trauma. Not every student is going to be able to form that connection with their teacher. Sometimes the numbers just don't match up. One teacher may have over 100 students. This is where City Year core members come in and help fill the gap. There are too many programs where money is spent without great impact. City Year is not one of those. It is an investment with a multiplying effect. Just check out a few of the things our current Oni students had to say about their City Year core members. This is from a student, Ramir. Miss Maya is the best City Year worker they have because she is the only adult I can go to in this school. She helps me with all my problems, behavioral and academic. She keeps me on track in class, and I really appreciate her and everything she's done for me. I genuinely think she wants the best for me, and I feel safe with her, and I can tell her anything. She gives the best advice. This is from Michael. While I have not had a significant interactions with City Year member this year, it is hard to deny that they have made a positive impact. I will not forget my 5th grade City Year member back at Oni Elementary. I vividly remember in my social studies class how we were assigned a prompt that was pretty personal for me. My father had died a long while ago, but it still affected me very much back then. I couldn't help but start to tear up. I wasn't that close to Miss Sparkle, but she took me out of the class and comforted me as we both related to our experiences with loss. I still hold nothing but respect for her, especially now. Jayla, one City Year member that has impacted my life is Miss Abby. Miss Abby is one of the most kind and helpful people I know. Who is also in English class, she always offers a helping hand on our work, each time giving wonderful feedback and advice. Miss Abby has always been one of the most attentive people who is there to help me when I need guidance. I'm here just to testify that as a city, as a citizen in the city, City Year is a place where we should be investing our money to help our schools, to help our students. Thank you.
Thank you for that testimonial and the impact on those young people's lives. Thank you. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Mary Sanchez.
Ms. Sanchez, are you connected?
Hi, yes, good morning.
Good morning. Please begin.
Hi, good morning. On behalf of myself and my school community, thank you for the opportunity to share and advocate for City Year. Harding Middle School resides in District 7 under the leadership of Councilwoman Ketsi Lozado. Over the past decade, I have partnered with City Year, first when I was the principal at Elkin Elementary School and now as the principal at Harding Middle School. City Year has helped provide small group instruction for our students and support in and out of the classroom. The team assesses STAR data, attendance, and grades to target students' best needs in math and ELA. Every year, we see City Year students make academic growth, but the most significant benefit to partnering with City Year has been their efforts to build community and celebrate our students. They run events for our students and staff school-wide. Students build relationships with City Year members and look to them for counsel and kindness. Their focus on social and emotional learning has enabled our sixth graders to find security and solace in troubled times. Students can transition into middle school with immediate support and friendship. In the coming year, we at Harding expect City Year members to continue supporting our most volatile population, our sixth graders. Being a true middle school, it can be a challenging transition from elementary to middle school, and City Year is there to meet their needs and greet them with open arms. Through academic support, relationship building, and planning events geared explicitly towards the sixth grade, they engage students and help them use their power to self-advocate, build community, and provide resources and support to allow them to thrive. This year alone, they chalked the Walk for Their Kindness Day initiative, spearheaded getting the Philly Fanatic here at Harding for our students' reading, worked alongside ELA teachers to hold a slam poetry event, and hosted a women's empowerment lunch school-wide. City Year serves the most in need of support here at Harding. Many students are entering our academic community years below grade level and need help finding their place in their learning space as we as a school move towards creating a more equitable environment. City Year is there helping to meet the need. Due to their presence and support, teachers can more easily support others in the community and allow for a smoother development implementations of lessons in small group instruction. If City Year were not a part of our learning community next year, the students and staff would feel the hole they would leave and experience detention in their absence. Please continue to provide the resources that allow these talented and kind Corps members to work with us and our students. Thank you.
Thank you for that testimony. We appreciate your comments. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Beatrice Zovich.
Ms. Zovich, are you connected? Hello, Ms. Zovich, are you connected?
Yes, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am now. Welcome. Please
Great.
begin your testimony.
Thank you so much. Good morning. My name is Beatrice Zovich, last name spelled Zovich, and I'm a resident of the Brewerytown neighborhood in Philadelphia. I'm speaking today as part of the Transit Forward Philadelphia Coalition, specifically about how the budget relates to public transportation. I'm testifying because public transit is one of the primary ways in which I travel around the city, which I know is also the case for countless other Philadelphians. The existence of mass transit is one of the few truly communal goods that we still have available in the United States, and its presence and accessibility is integral to our very democracy. I'm testifying today to encourage the support and expansion of low-income fares on SEPTA. This first low-income fare program in Philadelphia is projected to reach 25,000 people and would provide vital connections to economic opportunity in the poorest large city in the U.S. 22.8% of city residents are at or below the poverty level as of 2021, including over 28% of Black residents and 36% of disabled residents. And that would make this proposed program a push toward racial and disability justice as well. Such a program would allow residents to realistically live and even thrive without a car, which is a huge expense and appreciates in value every day. I'm also advocating for increased local contributions to SEPTA operations and capital. The City of Philadelphia ranks 28th in local contributions across all transit systems in the country, despite having the 7th highest earnings from fares each year in the country. In order to qualify for the once-in-a-generation new funding that's offered from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, transit systems must be able to provide local matching funds. So currently, the lack of local investment means that Philadelphia will not qualify for these vital grants from the federal government. The disinvestment in SEPTA is apparent, and if the City of Philadelphia does not believe in its own mass transit system, why should the federal government? Investing in SEPTA locally and supporting low-income fares will allow Philly's mass transportation system to not only be more functional, but one of our city's greatest assets, playing a role not only in greater economic opportunity, but in addressing some of the many other problems that plague our city that are all interconnected, including gun violence, public safety, and climate change. Thank you to City Council and Council President for your time and attention, and I look forward to seeing commitments to equitable transit investment. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. We heard a lot of that at the hearing or public comment for bus revolution, and people were talking about the need to increase subsidies at the local and state level. Thank you for your comments. Mr. McDermott.
Thank you so much.
Our next witness is Charisma Presley.
Ms. Presley, are you connected? Good morning.
I am. Good morning.
Please
Good
begin.
morning. My name is Charisma. Okay. Good morning. My name is Charisma, and I'm asking council to specifically set aside money to the school district as a budget line item to renovate, rebuild, in one case, Marcus Foster, and maintain ownership of these indoor public pools, all of them, Pickett, Marcus Foster, Rhodes, Motivational, and Sayre, because doing so is equitable, improves quality of life, and will work to reduce and prevent violence. I'm a lifelong resident living in the Nicetown and Germantown section of the city. I gained valuable life experience right in my own backyard. It was being able to swim. This ability not only helped me save my own life, but also the lives of others, and especially my children who are being denied this fundamental life skill. Yes, swimming should be available to all year round and should not be considered a luxury. But for so many Black and brown residents who do not have year-round access to this important resource, it has been turned into a luxury. Let's talk stats. Philadelphia has 41 zip codes, yet there is only one indoor pool open to the public, and that's in 19136. The school district owns 8 indoor pools, but only Lincoln is operational and open to the public, and Fells and Widener are not accessible to the general public. However, the district has 5 additional indoor swimming pools that have been abandoned due to funding and neglect for a number of years, which include Pickett, Marcus Foster, Sayre, Rhodes, and Motivation. Therefore, offering residents of the city access to only one pool for swimming throughout the year is inequitable. While we're on the subject of equity, did you know that since the Carousel House was closed, there are no indoor pools with ADA-compliant pool lifts, and that of the 71 outdoor pools listed on the PPR website, only 4 of them have ADA-compliant pool lifts and are located in councilmatic districts 2, 4, 8, and 10. Additionally, the outdoor pools that either open later in the summer and close early in the summer are disproportionately found in Black and brown communities with little or no access to green space and trees. And it is more difficult to hire lifeguards in these communities because there is no year-round opportunity for swimming instructions. Neighborhoods that are in close proximity to the resource, such as Lincoln, do not have guard shortage problems like others, which is why I look forward to working with each of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. And Member Gutierrez is a fighting advocate for not only Sayre, but other pools within the city of Philadelphia. We have a lifeguard shortage, and people need to be trained in order to enjoy the outdoor pools. So thank you for your concern and comments. Thank you so much. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Will Tong.
Hi, good morning.
Connected? Good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is Will Tong, last spelled T-U-N-G. I'm calling from the King-Sessing neighborhood of Southwest Philadelphia as a volunteer transit committee member with Fifth Square. We urge City Council to approve the proposed zero-fare SEPTA pilot for low-income Philadelphians and to expand its eligibility in the 2024 city budget. We've collected over 300 petition signatures from Philadelphians across the city supportive of this effort. Our petition signers have told us about how subsidized transit would be transformative for their lives and would serve as a ladder out of poverty, connecting citizens to vital jobs, schools, doctor's appointments, and the grocery store. According to the Pew Foundation, Philadelphians pay more for commuting as a percentage of their income than those in other major cities due to our high poverty rate. Cities like LA, Seattle, and New York City have already implemented similar low-income fare programs, and it's about time Philly gets on board. Supporting sustainable and inclusive growth in our city by increasing transit access deserves our highest priority. The pilot also benefits SEPTA by encouraging ridership and by providing a steady revenue source to operate buses, trolleys, and trains. Under the mayor's budget proposal, the program would provide free fares for Philadelphians living at or near the federal poverty line, which is about $13,000 annually. However, a person making minimum wage, $7 an hour, earns $15,000 annually and would not qualify. This is why we want the program's qualifications and budget allocation expanded to encompass more working Philadelphians. Public transportation should be a lifeline and not a barrier. So we want Philadelphia City Council to approve the low-income fare pilot and to push to expand it to cover more low-income workers. Thank you, City Council, for your time.
Thank you for your testimony. Mr. McDermott, who is
Our next witness is Jarrett Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, are you connected? Good morning. Mr. Johnson? Mr. McDermott?
Our
please
next witness
proceed
is
to the
Maya
next.
Friedman. Again,
Ms.
that's Maya
Friedman, are you
Friedman.
connected? Ms. Friedman,
am.
are you
Can you hear me?
connected? Yes, good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Please
My
begin
name
your
is Maya
testimony.
Friedman. Absolutely. So my name is Maya Friedman, Frydman. Good morning. I am a resident of Philadelphia, a transit rider, and I work for the Clean Air Council, a member-supported environmental advocacy organization here in Philly, whose mission is to protect everyone's right to a healthy environment. For all these reasons, I am speaking in support of the mayor's proposal that the city provide SEPTA Key Advantage as a benefit to city employees and institute a low-income SEPTA fare program. Nationally, the transportation sector is the largest source of climate-changing greenhouse gas pollution, and personal vehicles make up a huge part of those emissions. Here in Philadelphia, transportation is the largest source of the air pollution that we breathe in every day. Incentivizing the use of sustainable transportation options like public transit means fewer single-occupancy vehicles on the road, improved air quality, and less emissions. While the environmental and public health benefits of this proposal are enough to justify its adoption on its own, these two programs would also be huge steps forward in alleviating transit insecurity for low-income Philadelphians and recruiting City of Philadelphia employees, both of which are crucial to the future of the city. In addition to increasing SEPTA ridership through these programs, the City of Philadelphia needs to increase its contributions to SEPTA's capital and operations budget in order to invest in the future of public transit. Currently, the City of Philadelphia contributes far less than other major cities to its transit system. As I'm sure you've heard before, Philadelphia ranks 28th out of the American cities when it comes to local investments in transit, despite generating the 7th most revenue from fares of any American transit system. For SEPTA to be a usable resource for all Philadelphians, service must be frequent, reliable, and accessible. And the only way to accomplish this is through increased funding to SEPTA's capital and operations budget. As a person who relies on SEPTA to travel throughout the city and the region, thank you for the opportunity to give testimony today. I look forward to seeing your future commitments to sustainable and equitable transportation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony. Frequent, reliable, I would also say safe. There is safety in numbers. So the more people that ride the system, the better off we all are. So thank you for your testimony.
You must be reading my mind. I took that part out for time, but absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Anthony Keenan.
Mr. Keenan, are you connected?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Please begin your
All right.
testimony.
Yes, sir. Good morning, members of City Council and all other attendees. I am Anthony Keenan, which is spelled Keenan, a student at the Community College of Philadelphia, and I am here to provide you all with my testimony on the CCP budget and the necessity of increasing funding to the Octavius Cotto Scholarship. The Octavius Cotto Scholarship is an important anti-poverty initiative implemented by CCP with the focus of bringing students close to their goals and out of poverty. The Cotto Scholarship provides last dollar academic funding and wraparound support services so that students in the program can focus on their studies as stress-free as possible. This school year alone, over 60 students were able to graduate from the program. This past school year, the Cotto program, along with community partners, helped to fund a new housing partnership between CCP, Philadelphia Housing Authority, and with the support from the City Office of Homeless Services. The purpose of this program is to provide housing insecure and former foster care youth with access to affordable housing while they attend CCP. Currently, the program operates 2 properties owned by PHA on 10th and 11th Street near CCP's main campus. I, Anthony Keenan, is a product of the CCP and PHA housing program. I know firsthand the pains of being homeless, but also being able to benefit from the Cotto Scholarship and its resources. I will be finishing my studies at CCP with a using 3.3 GPA in Austin Fordham University this fall to study political science. I ask that the City Council commit to increasing the Cato Scholarship funding by 10% so that more students can grow as they pursue their academic goals. Thank you, members of Council, and I have faith that you all will act accordingly.
Thank you for sharing your experience, and we wish you well with your continued success.
Our
Mr.
next witness
McDermott.
is Roman Palmard.
Are you
Hello?
connected, Mr. Kalmar?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you very much for taking my call. My name is Roman Palmard. I am speaking today as a proud member of ACME DC 47, Local 2187. I'd like to talk about the fiscal year 24 budget proposal, especially regarding the Department of Labor's Office of Worker Protections. As you know, the labor movement is having great momentum all over the country. We see it in union movements, etc. But I believe it's vitally important that the city follows that movement and shows its commitment to supporting the hard-working people of Philadelphia. It is very unfortunate to see that the proposed budget is actually cutting funds to the only office in charge of enforcing worker protection laws at the city level. It's actually problematic when the city's biggest challenge is the gun violence crisis, and that a comprehensive approach to solving this crisis must include a plan to fight poverty. One of the most efficient weapons against poverty is worker protections, which leads to a decrease in wage theft, which means more money in the workers' pockets and an overall healthier workforce. The worker protections laws that the city has passed in recent years are a great step to help workers achieve financial stability and a better work-life balance. However, without allocating the proper resources for its own Office of Worker Protections, the city is sending a message that even though the laws are in place, they do not plan to enforce them appropriately, and that lifting working families out of poverty is not a current priority. I am asking for the budget to allow for the Office of Worker Protections to increase its current staffing level, which is 7 members at this point, 7 staff, and take into consideration the retention of senior staff members, as we also see people leave after a few years because there is no plan for retention. It is my understanding that a $1.2 million increase in budget for that office would help accomplish those things, and that comes to 0.01% of the total budget. Thank you for letting me talk and hearing constituents voice their concern.
Thank you for your comments and the important work your office does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Gwen Snyder.
Ms. Snyder, are you connected?
Hi, this is Gwen Snyder. I'm here speaking on behalf of the Coalition of Labor Union Women. We have been very active over the past decade, fighting for a lot of different reforms, including paid sick leave, was a battle that was very important for us. And it has been a long slog. And seeing the Office of Worker Protection actually move to enforce some of these regulations that we fought so hard to win has been inspiring and has given us hope, which is why we are very concerned to see that the mayor's office is proposing a cut to the budget of the Office of Workers Protection. So we are here expressing our strong support for the $1.2 million increase that other labor unions and organizations have spoken in favor of. We need this enforcement. This office is what makes sure that what's on the books actually happens in real life. And without that enforcement, employers are going to feel very comfortable stealing from their workers and violating their workers' rights. Thank you so much for your time.
You gave me a flashback to member Bill Greenlee, who fought very hard for those protections. Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Bonita Cummings.
Bonita Cummings, are you connected? Ms. Cummings, are you connected?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Bonita Cummings. Yes, state your name for the record, and please begin your testimony.
Good morning. My name is Bonita Cummings, and I am the Director of Strawberry Mansion Community Concern and RSCO, a member of the citywide RSCO Coalition of Philadelphia, and a leader in 28th Ward. I'm speaking on this fiscal 2024 budget as it relates to several things, actually. One, I wanted to start with just my appreciation for council support to the streets department. We see the young men and women who have been able to get employment with the increase in budget, and we hope that to continue, and we really want to just encourage that as we see what we feel is induced conditions from others dumping on our city, trying to make it appear that we're not able to manage our streets department, but we contend as the citizens of the city that we are able to manage our streets department, and that this council would not consider outsourcing any part of our streets department collection for our neighborhood. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Also, I just wanted to talk about demolition. Demolition has been tied for the Native Black community to what I'm calling a major heist of our inheritance wealth, because the demolition is contributed to also the process by which we are losing our land and our property. So the transference of inheritance wealth, as you all look at your budget and moving land and property through the land bank, even with our state senator and state representative multifamily housing program of $100 million, padding the $400 million that you all are using for what they're calling, affordable and low-income housing, you're creating the worst poverty ever that the Native Black, or most people call it African Americans, will see in the history of the earth. So I'm asking you, as you continue to move these properties out of your council sessions, that you really have considered how it's impacting, or how it has impacted the families who have lost the land, who have lost the property. Their children have gone off to colleges that, instead of them being able to come back and be the developers, they're hit with the debt of the demolition. So I just wanted to ask that we take a different look at that from a budget approach to make sure that we're not creating that type of debt and making us poor as Black people in this city. Thank you.
Thank you for your continued advocacy. Thank you. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Margaret Rico.
Ms. Rico, are you connected?
I'm actually seeing a note here that Margaret is not available. Our next witness is Elaine Foltz.
Ms. Foltz, are you available and connected? Ms. Foltz.
If Elaine Foltz is not available, the next witness is Dina Kasim-Bekova.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Can you state your name for the record?
Yes, please. My name is Dina Kasim-Bekova. Last name is KassymbekovA.
Thank you so much. Please begin your testimony.
Thank you so much for opportunity to say my words. So my name is Dina. I am mother of 3 children, ages 9, 8, and 3 years old. I'm here today to ask City Council to increase the number of PHL pre-K slots to 6,000 so my child can continue to benefit from high-quality early childhood education. My youngest child currently goes to Secure Future Academy in the University City, which is in the West Philadelphia. So as a recent graduate of a School of Education, I know how important high-quality early childhood education is to a developing mind. And I am thrilled that my child can get that early learning experience. My son lives in a trilingual environment, and prior to attending his current daycare, I was worried he might have some type of delay because he was lost among 3 languages. But once he started learning at the academy, I saw his speech ability blossom, and now he's a fluent English speaker. As an immigrant whose first language is not English, this has been a huge relief for me. However, I am also saddened by the fact that I will most likely need to pull him from the program because it has become unaffordable despite him being enrolled only part-time. Despite my husband being the only breadwinner right now, our family makes too much to be eligible for other income-limited early childhood programs like pre-K counts and Head Start, and we cannot continue to pay out of pocket for part-time care. As a recent graduate, I am so excited to find a job and start my career as an educator. However, without care for my son, I will not be able to go to interviews and look for a job. I long to be able to contribute to my family and our economy by joining the workforce and work full-time job. But without the reliable, safe, and high-quality care for my son, this dream will not become a reality. When I heard about Philadelphia's free preschool program, PHL Pre-K, I was confused why our daycare did not offer the program. When I asked the director, she said that she applied to be a part of the program, but did not receive slots. I know that if she were to become PHL Pre-K provider, I would be able to keep my son in her program so I can work and my child continues to receive the high quality care and education he deserves. I'm asking City Council today to please expand the PHL Pre-K program slots to 6,000 so that children like my son can benefit from high-quality early childhood education and so that I can get a job and go to work too. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. And that important service is the decision in some households whether to be able to go to work or have to stay home and care for your child. So thank you for your testimony.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Stephanie Santiago.
Ms. Santiago, are you connected?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Please state your name for the record and begin your testimony.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Stephanie Santiago. I live in District 7 and the Fairhill and Norris Square neighborhoods, respectively. Both reside in Councilmember Lozada's district. I'm here today to ask City Council to raise the number of seats allocated to PHL Pre-K to 6,000 in this year's budget. PHL Pre-K has been a backbone for my family. My daughter's now moving to kindergarten, and I want to ensure more families in the Philadelphia area can access this incredible program. My daughter has flourished in the time she's been with PHL Pre-K. When we started the program in 2021, we were coming out of the pandemic, and I was worried that the effects of isolating will really affect her development. I'm so lucky that we were able to get a slot in the local community Norris Square PHL Pre-K program. Because of the excellent teachers and curriculum, my daughter flourished despite the pandemic. I was afraid she would have problems making friends and would be anxiety-ridden and fearful. My daughter now has many friends of very different ages. I was afraid that my daughter would have trouble writing her name or recognizing sight words. With the assistance of the teachers and the curriculum, her intelligence has grown immensely. She's very communicative. She can express her feelings, her boundaries, and start conversations with adults. She's empathetic and is very happy in her classroom. She actually doesn't want to go to kindergarten because she's going to miss her teachers and friends. PHL Pre-K did not only do wonders for my daughter, but it was my only choice as a working parent. Before PHL Pre-K, I didn't know how to pay for childcare. I earned too much to qualify for childcare programs for low-income families. To be clear, I currently only I only earn more than $500 over the income limit for ELRC and low-income childcare. My only options for childcare were to work another job at night, which would take me away from being a mom and stop me from finishing my master's degree. Because PHL Pre-K has no income limits, I was able to obtain quality childcare for my daughter. I was able to keep working within the community at North Square. I'm comfortable leaving her at school, and I know she will learn and be ready for kindergarten in September. I want PHL Pre-K to expand to 6,000 seats this year because this is how more families like me, families in my community, can get the same benefits I had to flourish. North Square currently has 40 spots for PHL Pre-K, and many families who are in similar situation as I are waiting to get a seat. That is because kids that start with PHL Pre-K in year 1 are grandfathered in for year 2 and spots are hard to come by. Like me, these families earn between $40,000 and $60,000 a year. We earn too much to qualify for other childcare programs, but we don't earn enough to pay for the high cost of childcare, basic bills, and housing. My neighborhood continues to gentrify, and we're having to earn more money to keep up with the pace of the rising cost of living. Without PHL Pre-K, moving or picking up even more work are the only other options. This is why I'm asking City Council to invest in PHL not only this year, but every other year. We need 6,000 seats in this year's budget because families like me, people who earn too much for low-income programs, are not enough to compete with rising rents and cost of living, need programs like PHL Pre-K. We want our kids to be set for the future. We don't want to have to choose between quality education for our children and moving, picking up a third job, or not being able to work at all. If you want families like mine to stay and grow our neighborhoods, continue to be active community residents and advocates, please ensure that PHL Pre-K is more accessible for all this year. I currently have 60 other parents willing to testify the same points and advocate for the continuous and increasing seats of PHL Pre-K and are willing to sit with any council person willing to discuss support for the program. Thank you all so much for allowing me to testify.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony. I know what you have said is resonating to thousands of households that make $1 too much to benefit from these essential programs. So thank you for that and putting it on the record. Mr. McDermott, who is next to testify?
Next to testify is Joanna Portero Cruz.
Ms. Cruz, are you connected?
Yes, I am.
Good morning. Please begin your testimony.
Good morning. Buenos dias to everyone. My name is Joanna Otero Cruz, OTERO-CRUZ, and I'm honored to be here with you to give a public comment at these budget hearings on behalf of Women Against Abuse and survivors of domestic violence in Philadelphia. We know now more than ever that progress can only be made when we elevate the voices of those impacted and work together as a team. As a leader at Women Against Abuse, I understand how important it is to make sure that all voices are heard as we plan the future of our community. Although we expect new leadership in Philadelphia, I know that the voices and experiences of the most vulnerable will be elevated by City Council as we continue to make progress towards eliminating additional barriers for those impacted by domestic violence. Today, I am speaking on behalf of the collaborative to urge Council to prioritize for the Philadelphia Domestic Violence Hotline. Our hotline is often the first point of contact for a survivor as they access safety and resources. For over a decade, Luther's Settlement Houses Bilingual Domestic Violence Program, Congreso de Latinos Unidos, Latina Domestic Violence Program, Women in Transition, and Women Against Abuse responded to those calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year. A lot of our clients are reluctant to call the police. So these hotline counselors are essentially first responders who are trained in domestic violence and provide anonymous and confidential support, including crisis counseling, safety planning, referrals to appropriate community resources, and admission to emergency shelter. Hotline counselors respond to over 10,000 calls each year for people seeking safety and support. Since the creation of the hotline, each of the collaborative agencies has had to fundraise hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to continue hotline operations, relying on only a small percentage of funding provided by the city. This was a costly burden that we upheld, knowing that how critical the hotline is to keeping survivors and their families safe. After years of advocacy, Women Against Abuse received a new contract in January of this year from the Managing Director's Office to increase funding for the collaborative to carry out this essential work. We are very grateful to the Managing Director's Office, specifically Eva Gladstein and Tumar Alexander, for this contract. However, this funding contract was only committed for calendar year 2023. Continuous hotline funding is critical to our ability to sustain staff capacity, broaden language access, and increase marketing efforts so that all Philadelphians know about and how to access this important resource. We urge City Council to secure domestic violence hotline funding in the amount of $1 million. We thank City Council members Losada, Jones, Driscoll, Thomas, Johnson for already signing on to the letter of support and urge others to do so. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer now. And obviously, you can contact my office for further conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those essential services that are citywide needed in every district. Thank you for your testimony.
Our next witness is Jarrett Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, are you connected? Mr. Johnson, are you connected?
Can you hear me?
Mr. McDermott, who? Yeah, we hear you now.
Can anybody hear me?
Good morning. Yes,
Hello.
Good morning. Hello,
Yes,
good
my
morning.
name is Jarrett Johnson. Good morning. My name is Jarrett Johnson. I live in West Philadelphia. I'm a volunteer for Fifth Square, and I'm also on the committee for DVRPC, the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, as well as Transit for Philadelphia. I'm here today to talk about the low income fare for the citizens of Philadelphia. City Council, we need your help for your approval of this funding because Philadelphia is known as hardworking blue-collar people who work 12, maybe 16 hours a day for some people. Some people even have two jobs and they still can't make a living wage. As a person who uses public transit daily, I know what it's like to make ends meet. I know what it's like to decide whether to either get a pair of clothes or get a monthly pass. Trying to make it day to day. Public transit for lots of individuals and families and fares should not have to be a privilege. It should be a right. They should have the same opportunities to make their lives better for those living on a low income wage. By adding this pilot program, it would give these citizens living below the poverty level to make a living and an opportunity to better their lives, and also give some breathing room in their financial situations. And I know you'll find it in your heart to make a great decision and not keep these citizens a prisoner in their homes. Council, I beg you to approve this funding for the budget year 2024 and think about the people that are living in that situation. Think about Jalen, who wants to go to college, who wants to go to Villanova. It'll be easier for him. And think about Brianna, who has two kids that would like to take their kids to see a movie or to go shopping, who has two jobs during the week and is also trying to make ends meet. Adding this pilot program will make it easier on those people. Thank you guys and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson, for that heartfelt testimony. Thank you. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Melissa Suarez.
Ms. Suarez, are you connected?
Hello, yes, my name is Melissa Suarez. I am a mother of 3 children in Philadelphia County. All 3 children have had experiences with early education and Philadelphia pre-K. My twins were the first of my children to have the opportunity to attend the Philadelphia pre-K program when it was free. We were the first year. It was an amazing experience. We had barely gotten in the door. There were only a few seats left. And when I had twins, I believe strongly that the director, Debbie Deacon, made the impossible possible by creating another seat for our other son so that they could attend together, so that we didn't have to choose who gets to go to school. I'm here to ask you guys to think about that, to increase the number of seats that we have in early pre-K from 5,200 to 6,000. My younger son didn't have that same opportunity. There were no seats for him, and he has significant needs. What I know is that my twins were able to be linked up and evaluated for special education services, and that set them off on a great pace for the rest of their learning experiences. It helped us make sure we identified their needs early. And the quality of a child's early learning experiences are critical for making a foundation that is either strong or weak, that changes their life and their trajectory of their life forever. When children miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, they pay that price. They pay it by dying before they have the chance to grow up, or through going life poor with physical or mental health issues. We all pay the price when we don't provide what's best for our children. And when we don't put money towards benefiting their future, what we end up doing and what we're saying is that the same thing Maya Angelou said, is it true that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link? What then does it say when we don't provide for the greatest of our children's needs, for those who really, really, really depend on these critical hours, these critical moments, these critical years? If there's no seats available, what will they do? What will happen to them? Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. You have my staff in here applauding and relating to those types of choices. So thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Phoebe Bachman.
Ms. Bachman, are you connected? Ms. Bachman. One more time, Ms. Bachman, are you connected? Mr. McDermott, who is next?
Oh, I think I
Yes,
heard.
I'm connected.
All right, okay.
I just heard the beep.
Well,
Great.
all right. Can you state your name?
Good morning.
Go ahead. Begin your
Great.
testimony.
Good morning. My name is Phoebe Bachman, and I'm a resident of South Philadelphia. On behalf of the People's Budget Office produced by Mural Arts, I want to thank you for the opportunity to give public testimony. Over the last 3 years, I have worked with Philadelphians on creative projects about the city budget. I educate people about the budget process and provide a platform for them to advocate for a more just, equitable city. The responses cover more issues than I can say in this short testimony, but there are some that I have heard overwhelmingly this year that I want to list. Safe spaces for our children and youth to play and learn. Fund our third spaces, which offer crucial support and build and strengthen communities, including rec centers, parks, libraries, and after-school programs. Clean streets means safer Philadelphia. This includes stopping illegal dumping, funding street cleaning, public trash cans outside of Center City, efficient city waste collection, and sanitation workers, the critical workforce that continue to put their health on the line to maintain our city. Non-carceral responses to mental health, addiction, and youth sentencing, prioritizing a harm reduction approach, and directly funding community-led safety programs. Make Philly jails clean and safe spaces for those waiting for justice, some who have to wait years for a trial. Fund more affordable housing and no-cost housing. For our housing insecure population who are on the street or in shelters, this includes places to go during the day where they can keep warm, keep cool, and have a place to engage, eat, and rest. Fix the roads. Continue to provide bike lanes and bike safety awareness and increase accessibility infrastructure across the city. Support public transportation, making it more clean and safe to ride. Support free public transportation for city workers and the pilot program for low-income riders. Increase local funding for our schools from K through college and create a transparent public process to show where the city's contribution is going. Fund the arts, which provide cultural backbone of the city, including performing arts, visual, musical, and public artwork.
Art programs expand far beyond the final product. They engage in community, tell stories, relate to our emotions, and provide jobs. Sustainability. We are in the middle of a climate crisis and need to fund programs that transition the city away from fossil fuels and support urban agriculture and green jobs. Tax cuts lead to revenue cuts, which lead to service cuts. We must hold the wealthiest people and corporations accountable to fully fund our city. As I mentioned, these are just a few of many concerns that citizens have been telling me. And I want to add that there should be increased opportunities for public to respond to the budget and in multiple forms outside of this hearing. On this note, I invite all of council to come to the People's Budget Office at Love Park to learn more about on-the-ground engagement. And I just want to end by saying I want to thank council for hearing this testimony. I want to thank the city's budget office for their continued support of the People's Budget Project, Parks and Recreation for hosting the People's Budget Office, Councilmember Kendra Brooks' office for their continued support, and Mural Arts for always prioritizing civic action. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Connor Guestmaker.
Mr. Guestmaker, are you there? Are you connected?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please state your name for the record and begin your testimony.
Yeah, my name is Connor Deschmaker, spelled Desheemaker. I'm the Coalition Manager of Transit Forward Philadelphia and a resident of Councilmanic District 1. Thank you to Council President Clark and Council for the opportunity to speak. Transit Forward Philadelphia is a coalition of over 30 neighborhood and political organizations, environmental nonprofits, and transit rider groups focused on affordable, accessible, and sustainable public transportation in southeastern Pennsylvania. I ride transit daily and don't own a car, so depend on our city's public transportation network for all of my travel, just like 31% of Philadelphia's residents. First, I'm here to speak in favor of Mayor Kenney's proposal for Philadelphia's first free low-income transit fare program and expand it to reach more residents. This plan puts Philadelphia in alignment with Boston, Los Angeles, and Seattle, but where we have a greater need, considering 22% of city residents are at or below the poverty level, with even greater levels among Black and disabled residents. This makes the proposed program not only a boon for access to jobs, housing, and cultural institutions, but also a push towards racial and disability justice. As stated by others before, the current outlay, though, would not even cover a person working full-time for our already low minimum wage, so I urge Council to provide even more funding to expand its impact. Additionally, I urge Council to expand the budget for public transit. Despite being the seventh most in earned revenue, we're 28th in local funding. Without local matching dollars, we don't qualify for federal money for capital projects. And without new money, we can't invest in increased service frequency, let alone major projects like increasing accessibility and adding new train and trolley lines. We also ask for specific funding for the streets budget for bus shelters, which will be more important than ever with the proposed Bus Revolution network redesign. We currently don't have a dedicated funding at all for shelters, which offer an essential refuge for elderly and disabled bus riders and anyone traveling during the heat of summer or rain or snow. Creating and expanding Philadelphia's low-income fare program, increasing local funding for SEPTA, and creating a dedicated budget line for bus service will grow ridership and support core riders at a time of depressed ridership, making SEPTA an all-day, all-purpose service, not just focused on commuters. I urge Council to make these investments and build on Philadelphia's strong foundation of transit. Thank you to Council President Clark and members of Council for your time and attention.
Thank you so much for your testimony. We appreciate it. Mr. McDermott, who is next?
Our next witness is Joseph Doherty.
Mr. Doherty, are you connected?
Hello, yes, I'm online.
Hey, Mr. Good morning. Can you state your name for the record and please begin your testimony?
Sure. Good morning. My name is Joseph Doherty. I was born 53 years and 1 day ago in Southwest Philadelphia, and I currently reside in Germantown. I appreciate the opportunity to testify. Today I'm speaking to ask City Council and the school district to add to line item budget for our indoor pools. I'm asking this as a parent of 3 young Philadelphians. As a parent, I make sure I fill their lives with positivity in every way I can. A few years ago, I used to fill their Friday nights with swimming during family swim time at Pickett Pool. They also took swim lessons at Pickett. My intent was to fill their skill set with the ability to swim and not to drown. My intent was to fill their resume with participation on a swim team as a possible pathway to higher education. My intent was to fill their summers with jobs as lifeguards. Suddenly, though, Pickett Pool was emptied. It had sat idle for years, as have most other indoor pools in the city. I know that if adults don't fill our young people with positive experiences, they may find ways to fill those voids with less desirable pursuits. I know that if something like a Friday night isn't filled with family swim nights, if resumes aren't filled, if summers aren't filled, well, we've all seen what happens to our city when young people are left empty. So I'm asking you to fill these pools. Please add money to our budget to get all indoor pools up and running and maintained. I'm not asking you to empty the city coffers into the pools, but it is unacceptable to leave the pool budget completely dry. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Patricia Brennan.
Miss Patty Brennan. Good morning. How are you? And
hello, Curtis.
State your name
good morning.
For the record. I am good.
My name is
How
Patricia Brennan, Brennan. I'm fine after holding on for 3 hours to talk to you, but giving my testimony, I live in the Roxborough. I'm sorry, what?
Please, without
I live in the
delay,
Roxborough section of. Okay, I live in the Roxborough section of Philadelphia, the 4th Council District. Curtis is my councilman. Raised 4 children in the public school system, and I have concerns regarding the school district of Philadelphia's priorities and consequently finances. I'm testifying here today because I am literally amazed at the gall of the administrators of the school district of Philadelphia to expect me to be okay with having my taxes raised when they clearly don't care about the students in their system. 2 of my granddaughters, who are twins, decided along with their parents that they would attend the same high school. Neither them nor their parents saw this as a problem, as their grades and test scores have been excellent since kindergarten. And then along came your ridiculous lottery for high school selection. Shades of David Hornbeck, the lottery has resurfaced. We've been there before, and it took Mandarino, Kenny, Nutter, Rizzo, and Rendell to work with us to straighten it out. Too bad that the Kenny that we knew then apparently isn't watching nor reading his mail. For some reason, an administration that is always crying for parental involvement doesn't think that parents should have a role in their children's selection of high schools. And so you took that role away from them and threw them into a lottery. Your administration informed their parents on more than one occasion that just because they are siblings, they don't have to go to the same high school. That's a parental decision. Aren't you always crying for parental involvement? They're entitled to attend a school that is safe, with a safe commute, but again, you don't care. My son was literally told by an enrollment person this week that there are no special favors, that they will be attending our neighborhood school. Just who do you think you are to make that decision for the children of parents who take care of them? The irony of this is that the high school that they were told that they would have to attend is 2 blocks from their home. But once again, you took that ability away from them when the administration removed the criteria from 3 of the programs at Roxborough High School, which we fought to keep in the 90s, took away all of the trade programs and turned Roxborough High School into a school for students who either don't make the criteria for any other school or simply don't have the parental and or school support to apply for criteria-based programs. Police officers lined up outside of the school every day. Stores on Ridge Avenue closing during dismissal time. Police constantly being called to the school. Yes, indeed. Who wouldn't want their children to walk into this environment? And they would have been the 5th generation to graduate from Roxborough High School, following their father, his siblings, and generations before them, many of whom, including my children, went on to earn degrees and are successful employed citizens who pay taxes in the city that fund these schools. What is the college acceptance rate of the students graduating from Roxborough High School now? Are the colleges putting their applications into a lottery to determine admission, What medical school, law school, or master's program is drawing from a lottery for their admission? Your track record is unacceptable, and I see no reason that we should have to pay additional taxes to support your latest plan on how all previous plans have not produced anything but chaos. You need to get back to basics, let the teachers teach and the students learn, and teach the students that the work that they put into their education will give them the opportunities that they have earned and deserve. Isn't that what you expect from your employees, or do you obtain your employees from a lottery? My granddaughters cannot be the only 2 8th graders that were slammed by your lottery. You need to fix this admission process for this current class as well, and then fix our neighborhood school so that the students in neighborhood are safe and programs are offered that will entice our community to come back to RHS. There are students in this system that need help and they should receive it, but don't hold back the students who thrive and excel. That's just wrong. I'm requesting that City Council provide oversight of the School District of Philadelphia's finances, as there is clearly a problem with their priorities. Thank you. And I'm sorry I ran over time.
Thank you. That's all right.
Thank you.
Ms. Brennan, and thank you for your advocacy for your and other kids who are experiencing this same nightmare of the lottery. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. McDermott, who's next?
Sorry, I was muted.
believe
Our
you're
next
on-
witness is Veronica Holman.
Ms. Holman, are you connected? Ms. Holman. One more time, Ms. Holman, are you connected? Who's next to testify?
Next to testify is Gloria Presley.
Ms. Presley, are you connected?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, is this Ms. Presley?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good morning and good afternoon, and please state your name and begin your testimony.
Good morning, City Council. My name is Gloria Presley. I am a mother of 6 in Councilwoman Cindy Bass' district, and all of my 6 of my children have been lifeguards for PPR. I'm a lifelong resident of both Nicetown and Germantown, and having access to indoor pools years around have kept my children safe and busy. However, because of zip codes and our failure as adults to put our money where our mouth is, our children have limited space to be safe and to be children. I'm asking this afternoon council to specify and set aside money to the school district as a budget line item to renovate, rebuild, in one case, Marcus Foster, and maintain these indoor public pools, all of them. Pickett, Marcus Foster, Rose, Motivation, and Sarah. Let's make a concrete financial commitment to invest in our future. I'm going to leave you with this quote by Joel Parker. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world. Now is the time. Now is the time to elect to change the world for all of us by investing in indoor public pools. I want to thank you for your time and your consideration. God bless you.
Thank you for your testimony, and we appreciate that comment and fighting for indoor pools for our kids. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Samia Evans.
Ms. Evans, are you connected?
Hi, yes, Samia Evans here. I just want to say thank you and good afternoon, City Council, for taking this time to listen to my testimony. I live in the Overbrook section of the city of Philadelphia in the 34th Ward, the 4th District. Shout out to you, Councilman Jones. We have crossed paths many times when you worked and advocated with us for our Haddington branch of the library. And I also want to give a special shout out to Isaiah Thomas. You were on our SLA home and school meeting last week about this budget, Council. So it's for you that I'm here. So first of all, I would like to state my name for the record. My name is Samia, Samia Evans, Evans Bowling, and thank you, members of City Council, for the time to listen to my testimony. My name is Samia Evans Bowling, and my oldest son is a student currently enrolled at SLA Bieber, a special admission school in West Philadelphia. Our school is currently under-enrolled next school year due to the new changes in the special admissions process. Though our school runs a unique inquiry-based model, children without the highest test scores, at least a 95 attendance rate, and excellent grades in their 7th grade school year were shut out during the admission process, as these new changes will not only affect my youngest child, a current 7th grader, but many families throughout the city of Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia school district as well. Forgive me. Principal Johnson is not able to fill the seats left empty, and SLA Bieber won't be able to serve the children in the city of Philadelphia who wish to attend SLA Bieber and experience a hands-on project-based learning model. As my oldest son's time at SLA Bieber has been a rewarding experience, I've seen the positive changes and growth in him. He has an internship with the Lincoln Financial Group. He is on his way to a 4-year in-state university, and the graduating class of SLA Bieber was awarded millions of dollars in scholarship funds to colleges and unis around the world. This may not have been possible without the strong foundation that SLA Bieber provided to my child and many others. Due to under-enrollment, the district is expected to cut our budget by as much as $600,000, and we may lose 4.7 teachers, what will cost us vital programs and increase in classroom sizes. SLA Bieber has always had a high enrollment of Black and Brown students, and now the district is taking funding away from our unique and diverse school community. In March, our students, along with many other schools across the district, walked out of class to protest City Hall to make their voices heard about these proposed budget cuts, and I am very proud to say that my child was one of them. I would urge the school district of Philadelphia to reopen the enrollment process to allow principals to fill the empty seats and to stop these extreme budget cuts to SLA Bieber and the other under-enrolled special admission schools. Thank you for your time, members of City Council, and have a wonderful day. And again, I'm going to leave this quote as well. Sit with the warriors. The conversation is different. I hope that I'm sitting with some warriors, and as a parent, we can change this conversation. I believe that parents have power. I received the Mayor's Community Service Award last year. I have a City Council citation from Councilman Jern's office for being an active member of my community from December of 2013, forgive me. I have served in the Mayor's Civic Engagement Academy, and I am very active in my school and my community. I'm a member of the Friends of the Free Library, and I'm a parent that is active for change, and we want to see the budget restored so that it can produce more scholars like SLA Bieber. Thank you for your time. SLA proud, SLA strong, and SLA forever.
Sit with the warriors. The conversation is different. Hashtag that one. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your testimony.
And thank you.
Mr. McDermott, who do we have next?
Our next witness is Mindy Isser.
Ms. Essert, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. State your name again for the record and begin your testimony, please.
Okay, sorry. Hi, my name is Mindy Iser, ISSER. Thank you so much to the members of council for listening to me and so many others about the issues that matter to us. This will be very quick. I'm here to speak in support, or here on the phone, to speak in support of increased funding to the Office of Worker Protections and Department of Labor. That council has passed so many great policies to support workers, like Fair Work Week and the Domestic Workers Bill of Rights. But without funding to the Office of Worker Protections and the Department of Labor, these policies aren't worth the paper they're printed on. Last night, Joel Embiid won NBA MVP. I know you're going to think that this is irrelevant, but just give me a second to explain. That was obviously a much-deserved win. But that's because when Embiid shoots, he follows through. It's a two-part system to get the ball in the basket and to get those numbers on the board. Same thing is true for protecting workers' rights. Creating the policies is only the first step. The funds to resource the Department of Labor is the second step. Both are necessary for the actual protection of workers. So don't just talk about it, be about it. Be like our MVP, fund the Department of Labor.
Thank you for that. MVP. Be about it. Thank you. Mr. McDermott.
Our next witness is Mason Carter.
Mason Carter, are you connected?
Hi, my name is Mason Carter. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
Wonderful. I am the chair of the SEPTA Citizen Advisory Committee. Thank you so much for listening to my testimony today about public transit. I've been a member of the Citizen Advisory Committee for 6 years, and we have worked extensively with both SEPTA and Otis to make incremental improvements in our city's transportation system. Personally, I'm a frequent rider of all modes of transit and use the buses every day. I've lived in multiple neighborhoods of the city and currently live in Germantown. My family is a single-car household, and we frequently use public transit. Our transit system can take people almost everywhere in Philly and the region beyond, but for many, it cannot bring them to places quickly or reliably, especially on the weekends. People without a car are sadly and undeservedly placed at a disadvantage day in and day out. Time is money, and car-centric policies over generations have caused many citizens to lose income at no fault of their own. The CAC supports Mayor Kenny's proposal to opt the City of Philadelphia into the SEPTA Key Advantage program. SEPTA needs more sustainable funding sources, and by purchasing passes in bulk for all city workers, this will provide greater ridership and many other quality of life benefits in the long run. Hopefully, this will serve as one strong piece of the greater transit funding puzzle. It's a shame that our city has in recent times not offered any funding beyond the status quo. Philadelphia's current local contribution is very low when you think about it on a per-person basis. The fact that we provide less local funding than a city like Phoenix is pretty crazy to think about, despite us having one of the highest ridership systems in the country. The city desperately needs to increase its local share of operating funds and invest in the mobility of as many citizens as possible in the very short term. My suggestion would be to start by helping out with funding more frequent weekend buses and rail. With the arrival of the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, cities need to take advantage while the going is good for capital. Transit systems must be able to provide local matching funds. Currently, the lack of local investment means that Philadelphia will not qualify for these grants from the federal government. The SEPTA CAC urges the city to consider the concept of ridership investment. This includes offering low-income fares, which we greatly support, and greater levels of service. Like any other investment, it's a concept that won't necessarily show results overnight, but the amount of lives that will be changed over time will be tremendous. I recently had to get repairs done on my car. It's a huge financial drain and prevents me from spending more money in the local economy. People who have trouble affording cars, the constant gas, and the maintenance of the cars deserve to have a leg up, not a leg down, when they choose or need to ride transit. Thank you so much to the City Council today for listening to me, and I really appreciate you listening so very much.
Thank you for your testimony and the importance of that system. Mr. McDermott, who do we have next?
Our next witness is Bianca Perez. They will provide testimony, and then Carly Porzand will translate. So for the timer, they will not be held to the traditional 3-minute timer. Thank you. Again, that's Bianca Perez.
Ms. Perez, please begin your testimony.
Hola, mi nombre es Blanca Pérez y soy trabajadora de un restaurante en Filadelfia que pertenece a una gran cadena nacional. También soy miembro del Comité de Trabajadores de Restaurantes, un comité de trabajadores inmigrantes. Estoy aquí hablando en nombre de los trabajadores y en nombre del comité a favor de un aumento de presupuesto para la Oficina de Protección de los Trabajadores. La Oficina de Protección de los Trabajadores es fundamental para hacer cumplir las leyes que el Consejo Municipal creó para proteger a los trabajadores de Filadelfia en el trabajo. He experimentado de primera mano cómo esta oficina transformó mi lugar de trabajo. Ahora tenemos acceso a nuestros derechos por los que se ha votado, a los que los trabajadores no teníamos acceso. Si la oficina no hace valer estas leyes, la oficina ofrece a los trabajadores una investigación a su lugar de trabajo después de haberse realizado la queja. Conseguir que los trabajadores presenten una queja puede ser realmente difícil. La oficina ha trabajado mucho para generar confianza en la comunidad y crear asociaciones con organizaciones reconocidas por la comunidad. Además, nuestro grupo, el comité, ha recibido fondos importantes a través del Fondo de Educación y Alcance Comunitario, que nos ha permitido capacitar a 10 nuevos líderes trabajadores en sus derechos bajo las leyes de la ciudad de Filadelfia. La Oficina de Protección de los Trabajadores ha hecho este trabajo en una financiación insuficiente. Necesitan absolutamente más fondos, no menos, para ayudar a educar eventualmente a los trabajadores. Merecemos trabajar con dignidad. Si realmente le preocupa la seguridad y la salud de los trabajadores, votará para aumentar el presupuesto de la Oficina de Protección de los Trabajadores. Muchas gracias.
Hi, this is Carly Porzan. I'm reading Blanca's testimony in English. Hello, my name is Blanca Perez, and I am a restaurant worker at a large national chain restaurant in Philadelphia. I'm also a member of El Comité de Trabajadores de Restaurantes, an immigrant worker committee. I am here speaking on behalf of other workers and of El Comité in favor of a budget increase for the Office of Worker Protections. The Office of Worker Protections is vital in enforcing the laws that City Council created to protect Philadelphia workers on the job. I have experienced firsthand how this office transformed my workplace. At my job, we now have access to our rights that you voted on that we did not have access to without OWP's enforcement. The office investigates workplaces after we make complaints. Getting workers to complain can be really tough. However, the office has done a lot of work to build trust in the community and to build partnerships with trusted organizations in the community. In addition, our group, El Comité, has received important funding through the Community Outreach and Education Fund that has enabled us to train 10 new worker leaders on their rights under city laws in Philadelphia. The Office of Worker Protections has done this work while seriously underfunded. They absolutely need more funding, not less, to properly support workers. We deserve work with dignity. If you really care about the safety and health of workers, you will vote to increase the budget for the Office of Worker Protections. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Mr. McDermott, who do we have next?
Our next witness is Nicholas Crosby.
Mr. Crosby, are you available?
Yes, can you hear me?
Connected? Yes, we can.
Yes,
Good
yes.
afternoon, and
All right,
please
awesome,
begin
perfect.
your testimony.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking the time to hear my talk. Yes, so my name is Nicholas Crosby. I live in North Philadelphia, and I'm a part of the transit advocacy group Fifth Square, as well as the Transit Forward Philly. I use SEPTA a lot to get around as a college student. It's a very inexpensive way of getting around the city to wherever I need to go, to work, to go out, as well as to get to classes as well. I'm a huge supporter of Mayor Kenny's proposal to establish Philadelphia's first low-income fare program, with it being projected to reach around 25,000 people. As the poorest big city in the United States, residents need access to transit to connect to the economic opportunities. Without transit, all the other issues that were brought forward today will not be able to be addressed as well. This program would have Philadelphia on par with peer cities such as Los Angeles, Seattle, Boston, and New York. Something that I would like to see is an increase in contributions to SEPTA operations and capital. As we're in the midst of a climate crisis as well, public transit is absolutely crucial if we want to get past this crisis, and local funding for public transit in Philadelphia is astonishingly low. We provide less local funding than transit agencies like Phoenix, which is much more car-centric than Philadelphia. And despite us having the seventh highest revenue from any fare system in the United States, it's crucial that we invest in transit. And with the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, we unfortunately don't qualify for that funding as we don't put in enough money. And being able to increase this funding will also increase the consistency of the service as well as adding new trains and increasing the safety, as was mentioned before. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank
Our
you
next
so
witness.
much.
Our next witness is Jordan
Mr.
Cole.
McDermott.
Thank you.
Mr. Cole, are you available? Are you connected?
Hello, my
Good
name is Jordan
afternoon.
Cole. Hello?
Please begin your testimony.
Yes. Are you ready for me?
Yes, we are. Please proceed.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm calling in regards to Bill 230146, an ordinance for adopting the operating budget for fiscal year of 2024. And this is specifically in regards to increasing funding to the Pennsylvania Immigrant Family Unity Project, commonly known by its acronym PIFOP. So the number of people detained in the state of Pennsylvania by ICE has actually increased significantly in the last few years. A detention center is opened in the Moshannon Valley Processing Center, and 945 people are currently detained there. There is no public defender system for people facing detention and deportation, and this forces many people to face the complex system of immigration court alone. Studies show that just 30% of those in immigration detention had legal representation since 2019. And since that time, PIFOP has represented 178 Pennsylvania residents. Lawyers make a big difference in immigration cases. Immigrants with attorneys are 3.5 times more likely to be granted bonds, which enables release from detention, and up to 10 times more likely to establish their right to remain in the United States. And 1 in 5 kids in Philly has an immigrant parent. It's more important than ever that the City Council increases the funding to the PIFOP program to support vital work to keep Pennsylvania families together. PIFOP was instrumental in Philadelphia as it welcomed 19 buses of migrants from Texas. As you may have remembered last year, in the end of the year, PIFOP was instrumental working with the city to provide legal services at the welcoming centers and to help connect many immigrants with attorneys who are skilled in immigration law. And so with that, I urge the City Council to increase the funding to the PIFOP program to the full amount of $500,000. That's all I have. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your testimony.
Our
Mr.
last,
McDermott, who do we have next?
our final witness for today is Veronica Holden.
I'm so
Hello,
glad
can
to
you hear
hear
me?
from you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. My name is Veronica Holman, Holman. Good afternoon, Council President and members. My name is Veronica Holman. I am a resident of Nicetown. I am here to ask Council to specifically set aside money to the School District of Philadelphia as a budget line item to be used to renovate, rebuild, and maintain our indoor pools, all of them. Marcus Foster, Pickett, Rhodes, Motivational, and Sayre. Having these pools open will provide an opportunity for our children to obtain a needed life skill, swimming, and they will also connect the families with positive role models and city resources. Children swimming at Marcus Foster will benefit from having a space to interact with retired teachers, social workers, detectives, etc., from various sections of the city daily. Our children are calling us out for not caring about them, for neglecting them, for not teaching them what they need, not making available what they must know and have to succeed in life. There is an old African proverb that says, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to fill its warmth. It is hot in our city, and not just from the weather. If we don't intervene, provide a solution, our villages will be destroyed. With record violence in the city, we must do better. I am coming to you as part of the village on behalf of the children. I am asking that you keep the ownership of these school district pools public and repair Pickett Pool immediately and rebuild Marcus Foster Pool. Thank you for allowing me to present this testimony.
And thank you for that quote. It is riveting. And thank you for your advocacy for the pools. Thank you, Mr. McDermott, for hanging in there. Well done. And we will now, are there any other people to testify? Hearing none, are there any comments from members of City Council? Hearing none, then we will stand at recess to the call of the chair. Thank you all who have testified. Thank you all who have participated. Good afternoon.